Listeners be advised. The Soliloquy podcast discuss matters related to the human experience and many that are sexual in nature. Due to this, some conversations may surround triggering topics such as sexual violence, self-harm, abuse, and much more. Please be advised, a list of crisis and psychological resources will be available in the show notes of this episode. With that said, let's get started with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please as we go through the following safety instructions.
In the event that there is a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen mask will drop from the overhead. Place the mask over your nose and mouth. Breathe normally as oxygen is flowing even if the mask is not inflated. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Soliloquy podcast, where we step out and speak on sexuality. This is your favorite host, Vernon T. Scott, also known as Slaytor Jackson, and for you freaking motherfuckers out there, Sebastian Adams. On today's episode, we are mixing things up. We're talking about one-night stands as well as sending news. Sometimes you do that right before your one-night stand. Sometimes you do it afterwards because, hey, I want you to remind. I just want to send that reminder. Come back. It was good. Okay, just come on back. And with me, I am blessed to have Ann Bell. How are you doing today?
I'm good, doing good, Vernon. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So, this is your first time on the Soliloquy podcast. Do you mind letting people know what you do, what you're about, all the great things about Ann Bell? What makes you unique? It is the first day of class. What's up?
First, I have to ask you, have you ever thought of being with that voice, a phone sex operator?
So let me go ahead and give you the actual answer to that. Yes, I have. I have thought about doing it, but I can't say I haven't because I do have a Night Flirts account. It's just that I don't know. It's a mental block. I need to like break it down a little bit, and then I'll be more comfortable with doing it because I don't know. I really want to do like sex stories and read those for people and just
Mm-hmm.
add my own ad libs. I actually applied for a position for it and they were just like, no. But I should do it again. It was with Dipsy. What is I'll put their things in the show notes, but Dipsy has like audio recordings of people reading books, well, reading like paragraphs and adding their own sexual sounds to it. And I was like, oh, this sounds amazing. Let me try to do this. I made it to round two, so I feel proud of myself for that. I think I was too focused on acting and not enough on feeling
Yes.
during the second round. So
All
that's
right, so now you know. Well, it's funny, when I went to massage school in 1997, I had to go to school, work part-time.
mhm.
And I did apply to be a phone sex operator. That's way back in
Ooh.
the day when it was the 900 number, they called. And it was interesting because I went to apply and it was this building with all cubicles.
Mhm.
And there were 5 stages from what they call it, cherry, the vanilla side, all the way to hardcore BDSM.
Oh.
And I could go 1 to 4, but the 5th stage I was not comfortable with way back then. And they're like, I says, but I can do 1 to 4. They had them all labeled. And they're like, no, everybody has to do up to 5, the hard stuff too. I'm like, okay. But that's my story as a phone sex operator. I think I would have really enjoyed it. One woman had props, scripts. I mean, she really got into it. It was really, really cool, to see her. So
Oh.
yes, it's an interesting, occupation, but I kind of wish I had done it a little bit because I think it would be kind of cool actually, but that's neither here nor there.
I still think about going back to Night Flirt, and I really they have a sex option too. But my only thing is I don't know if that requires sending like news and stuff like that because if it is, I'm like,
No, this was strictly over the phone. There was none of that. All it was talking. And yeah, they were very specific on what you can and cannot do. Yeah. So it was interesting. But I'm sorry, I got us off track. So
it's okay.
I am a love and sex coach. As I said previously, I'm a licensed massage therapist for 26 years. And I talk to people on the table. So they always want to tell me a lot of things. And I just felt that the need for a safe space for people to talk whatever they want to talk about. And I provided that. So then I decided in 2012 to go for life coaching. And then when the pandemic hit in 2020, I went for love, sex, and relationship coaching. And I really, really enjoy it, because I mainly work with women right now. So I really believe that, women's needs matter and they forget them.
Mm.
And I'm here to remind them that they do matter and that they deserve to have a beautiful, fulfilling, enjoyable sex life.
Amen. I'm glad that you actually mentioned that because I've come across many women who will set their own personal pleasure aside in order to please their partner. And I think I've met some queer folk as well who do fall within that category too. But it's been a lot of women, a huge amount of women who just it's like, oh, I need to make sure he's taken care of, or this,
Mm-hmm.
that, and third. But what's happening on the other end of that? Like, are you feeling fulfilled? Are you feeling pleased? Are you really enjoying the sex that you're having with this person? Like, you're dedicating so much of yourself to make sure that this person's happy, but how much are they dedicating back to you?
Right. But I think women are raised that way. We're raised to be nurturers and caretakers, put everybody else before ourselves. We're also given the mixed message of don't be too sexual, don't be a prude, just be this little straight lacy thing, be enough just flirty to get your man,
Hmm.
and don't be too sexual with him. So we've got all these messages going on in our head what we're supposed to be doing, and what we really need to be doing is finding our own pleasure within ourselves first, know we're capable of it, because that's the other misnomer we do. We let our men give us pleasure and we're afraid to give direction. So we kind of fake it a little bit and
Hmm.
we kind of go, okay, huh, that's good. That's good. I'm that's enough for me. Let me do you. Let me take care of you. So there are many men, though, that are insistent about pleasing their person, but the women don't know what that is,
Mm.
truthfully. So here's a stat for you that I found really astounding, because we all think we're having, and I'm talking about hetero male and females, penis and vagina sex. We all think it lasts forever. The average is 5.2 to 5.7 minutes. And it takes a woman 20 to 30 minutes to orgasm.
Mm.
Do the math. It's not.
Short-sighted by a lot.
Because also we also think there's something wrong with us, because we see these Hollywood movies. Instantly the woman is moaning and orgasming, and this is how it's supposed to go, and women are saying, but I'm not doing that. That's not happening for me, because that's not how it works.
Hmm.
That's all fake. It's
Oh,
all
child.
just mixed, terrible messages we're giving, and we just don't know. So there's so many stereotypes and misinformation that we have to weed through to get where we're going. So hopefully that's what, my next journey, my next phase of my journey is going to be.
See, I'm going to refuse jumping on, jumping out there to talk about the fakeness of porn because, oh my God, I can just, can do so many damn episodes about that. So,
You got to read this book,
his
His
porn.
Porn, Her Pain,
Oh God.
by Marty
Yes.
Klein. And it's very, very interesting, this book on porn, his viewpoint.
Mm-hmm.
and how he thinks about porn, because women think that the man's porn is ruining their sex life.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is not, because it's fantasy. Porn is not educational, as we know. Our
Mm-hmm.
younger generation thinks it is. So they're trying to copy that, and they're being unsuccessful and don't understand why, because that's where they're learning sex from, is porn. And they don't realize porn is scripted, porn is maneuvered. They take forever, get this shot. It's not natural. Porn
It's
is not
not.
natural.
It's far from it. And this, like, I enjoy amateur porn for that reason, because it's a little bit more natural, but it's still phony. Because when it comes to amateur porn, a lot of people, well, from the content creators I've seen, are trying to finesse and have sex with the camera rather than actually enjoying the experience, and not understanding how that has a different take for someone to enjoy, because you're not worried about the production value. You're actually watching the amateur things because it's like, oh, I get the angle that I don't usually get when I watch the higher production value things. I have less distractions. It might be a song in the background that I recognize because of, the media that they're in or the spaces that they're in. And it's just like, you don't get that same quality in like a high value quality production porn. You just don't get it. And that's the great thing about it. But it's just they're still trying to emulate that the Hollywood version of sex, and it's just like, ugh,
I agree
taking
with
me away
you.
from that.
When they're busy looking at the camera, I turn that off immediately. I'm like, I don't want you watching the camera. I don't need, that does nothing for me. But that's why I like amateur porn, because you can find some of those.
Mhm.
But it's fantasy.
Yes.
It's people don't realize that it's fantasy. It's our imagination. This is what we like. It gets our motor running. Doesn't mean your partner is going to expect you to look like that and act like that. If they are, they're really an asshole. But
That part.
this is just fantasy for them. I mean, when I'm self-pleasuring, I'll go to porn because you know what? I can get it done. If I'm in a hurry, I'm getting it done in 2-3 minutes. That's just how it is, because, that's what I want it to be, that because I want to go to sleep.
Mm.
So there's other times it can be different, but it also helped me identify some of my turn-ons. That's what I found very interesting about porn was, oh, I like this. I want to try this. Oh, no, I'm a voyeur. I just want to see this. I don't want to do it. And certain sounds, like I'm a sound girl, so I like hearing certain sounds during sex. And I'm like, oh, isn't that interesting? So you do find some of your fetishes, erogenous zones, turn-ons. If you're looking for that, that's a place to start for some of it. Yes.
Gotcha. See, porn, porn, porn. So to switch up and dive into this conversation, let's start off with some one night stands. So in our intake meeting, we were just talking about some of the stigmas that we had. Well, not us, but some of the stigmas that is currently present as it relates to one night stands, meaning some people may see you as being less than a person because you choose to have casual sex and all of these things. What are some stigmas that you've come across throughout your life?
Well, what do they call it? The walk of shame.
Mm, mm. I am not ashamed of what I just did. Most definitely, it was good, Lord.
It's like, here I am, strutting it home. But if women do it, we're whores and sluts.
The Holiloquy podcast focuses on the variability of sexual expression. When it comes to sexual expression, we often depend on pornography to illustrate how one must perform sexually. For those who have not learned this by now, the stuff you see in porn is not real. Pornography provides a singular perspective of sexual expression that is not often the reality we see during our own sexual encounters. The Soliloquy podcast is a conversation that takes you outside of the compressed box of what many know about sex. Some of the topics we discuss includes kinks, condom usage, status disclosure, and past sexual experiences. The Soliloquy podcast steps out on sexual norms and recognizes that the norm is not the only normal. Subscribe today and join the conversation.
If women do it, we're whores and sluts. We're whores and sluts. We're labeled. We're less than. We feel we're not going to get a partner. We're damaged goods. So all kinds of crazy nonsense that's out there. But, for men, they're revered. They're studly. It's a notch on their belt. So I just find the comparison a little off-putting.
No, I agree with you. I truly agree. The thing that really bothered me, like as a young age, throughout most of my adult life as well, is just that double standard placed between, men and women. Because I'm just like, why? I would never understand why we're expected to have sex with multiple women, but at the same time, those same women we have to demean because we're having sex with them. And I'm just like, this is a cyclical loop that just goes nowhere. Because at the end of the day, somebody's feeling shame because they're doing something that's completely natural and normal and okay to be doing. Like, why? Why are we in this place as a society where we're telling people like, oh, make sure you go out there and get all the practice that you want because these women are for you to, use however you want. But at the same time, women, don't you dare open up your legs. Who are we supposed to be fucking in this moment?
Well, I love the thing of you're a good girl. Oh, you many times I heard you're a good girl. Oh, you're a good girl. I'm like, okay, I'm a good girl.
I'm a whore, okay? A proud whore.
If you want that, I'm not going to discourage you from that. Okay. That always just made me laugh. Oh, am I?
Look,
what is it? They want a lady on their arm. What's the song by Usher? Lady in the bed and a freak in the sheets.
Lady in the streets and a freak in the bed.
Yes, there you go. That's what men. That's what they want. But then if you're too slutty in bed, where'd you learn that? How'd you get there?
Now they're feeling inadequate, and it's just like, you brought me over here to do whole shit, and when I begin to do the whole shit, now you're scared. Why did you invite me over? You should have said, hey, I want you to come over so we can cuddle, possibly do missionary, and then we go about our lives. Okay, cool. I'm comfortable with that. No, you said you want me to come over so we can fuck with all the phlegm at the back of that. And I came over here.
I have yet to meet a man that can cuddle. Strictly cuddle. I have yet to meet a man that can strictly cuddle. That leads to nothing. I have hope every single time. And it goes down the drain.
Oh my gosh. Like, I've gotten to the point where when someone's like, oh, I would love to cuddle with you. You look cuddly and everything. I'm like, okay, define cuddle, okay?
Your pants are off. I'm like, how did I get like this? This is not cuddling.
Like, I will always tell people, you have to tell me what to expect, because if it's not on the menu, then it's just not going to be on the menu. I didn't go to the grocery store. I didn't pick it up. How dare you? Like, you asked for fish and now you're asking for chicken. What are we doing here? I came here with the fish.
It's so true. But I looked at one night stands as man practice. I was coming off of, I was a widow at a young age of 29. So I was starting to heal and I had been married. It was the second man I'd ever been with in my life, and the sex was not good.
Oh.
So I was not going to get back into that situation. I didn't know what situation I wanted to be in. So I had to practice.
Mm,
I
amen.
had to hone my skills again, my flirting skills, and I didn't want a relationship at that point. I wanted to play. I wanted to flirt. I wanted to learn what that was all about. I was a extremely overweight woman. I had lost a lot of weight. I was feeling my hotness and I was like, fuck it. I want to have some fun.
As you should.
Yes. So I played. I was like, oh, man practice. And that's what it came down to at times. A man would walk into the bar and I'd say to my girlfriends, oh, I'm taking him home tonight.
Ooh, yes. You
They're like,
better be fine as fuck.
how do you
Yes.
do that? I'm like, I don't know. I just feel it. I just like they would walk in the room. I'm like, oh, that one's mine.
Mm. I love it. I love it. I love it. I need to step my game up. But I I agree 100% because like I just call it experience points. Like I don't care about body count, I care about my experience points because
Yes,
it's
I love
like
that.
it's like I'm learning more about myself the more that I engage in terms of like for my own personal pleasure. Of course, I masturbate and all these other things. Self pleasure is important, people. Make sure you please yourself.
Ding,
So
ding, ding, ding.
it's like I use my experiences with other people to help me with having those conversations about what I do want in bed as well, and even helps me weed out the people that I don't need to be in bed with. Like if they're unable to carry a
Mm-hmm.
conversation, I probably shouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
out here fooling around with this person. If their only intentions is to fuck, I'm like, okay, cool. I know when to contact you when I'm extremely horny, and horniness is a drug. So whenever I'm trying to get high, so when I'm in that mood, okay, let me hit this person up because I know that they'll be ready to go. So they're ready
Mm-hmm.
to go, and great. If it's somebody who's this is kind of related to this episode. Somebody who's only thirsting over my nudes, I know that, oh, they're just trying to jack off and they're not really trying to experience my body. So why not? Well, I'm not going to share it with you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like those kind of things. And you get that kind of knowledge by engaging with people, be it with one night stands, be it with casual dating, all of those. Like it's so much. It's so much. It's remember, it's experience points, people. Fuck the body
Yes.
count.
And you know what? It's a phase. Like for me, it was a phase.
Hmm.
It was something I had to go through. It was something, all of the things you just listed, I needed to know about myself. I need to know about my skills. Excuse me, what I was good at, what I liked, what I didn't like. All of that really, but then it ended too. It was like, okay, I have this information and I'm done with this phase because it served its purpose and I want something different for myself.
Mm.
Doesn't mean that's the way it does happens for everybody though. It just means for me, that's what was the next stage.
Yeah, I'm glad that you shared that because there's so many people who just like, oh, I need to have a whole phase. If it's not in you, if the spirit is telling you not to have a whole phase, do not have a whole phase. It's not for everybody. If
Yes.
you're one of those people who are quick to attach to somebody, yeah, doing that is just not going to be for you. Casual conversations with other people to build up your communication skills, probably, but sharing your body with multiple people is just not going to be for you. It's not in the cards. The Spirit said no. Sit your ass down. Like,
Right.
just understand, like, everybody's experiences is going to be different. And I know, like with many young people, because of how the narratives around sex is portrayed, they think that the whole phase is a necessary thing, that is something that they truly need in order to go to their next level or their next lived experience. No, sometimes you just need to sit down, reflect on your life, go to therapy because therapy is always great. And then if it's there for you, if it's meant for you, you will have one. But not, I just wanted to put that out there because some people just automatically think, oh, it's time for me to go hoe because this happened. I just had heartbreak. Let me go ahead and have my hoe face. No, don't hoe out here with a broken heart. Please don't. Please do not do that.
In the club, that's what we used to say when somebody new walked in. We're like, oh, look, new meat, new meat. Oh, what's your story? Oh, recently divorced. And I'm like, oh, here it comes.
That. That. Oh, child.
But I looked it up, and there's a statistic, a study that 27% of one night stands lead to long-term relationships.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, well, look at that. That's actually that's better odds than I actually thought.
I
So,
know. I actually had a friend who got married from one.
look, let me go ahead and let me stop.
Yeah, they've been married, I don't know, 20 some years by now. Yeah.
Oh.
So there is this percentage that it does work out. It's a small percentage. I wouldn't put my money in the bank over it.
Right.
But, if you know the purpose, if you know why you're doing it, or if you're in it and it's like, why am I doing it? Stop and ask yourself, take a pause. What is the purpose of this? And I'm glad you mentioned therapy earlier, because that's how I knew what I was doing, because I was in therapy at the time. And my therapist told me what I was doing was I was experiencing my teenage rebellion years. And because I was in my 40s, I was more adventurous than I probably would have been at my teenage years about it. So that's what I was going through.
Well, look at that. That's interesting. I wonder what phase I'm in now. I'm joking. I kind of know I'm slowly exiting my whole phase while having a perpetual state of Vern, you're a hoe. It's okay. Accept that.
Well, and that's, here's the other thing, to sit and talk about this, uncomfortable with it. Maybe 2 years, 5 years ago, my girlfriends knew, but not my fam. I didn't tell many people, just my small circle that was in it with me. But I think it's so important to share, to let people know it's okay. It's part of a process. Know what your process is. If you don't, seek out, ask somebody who can help you, get through it.
And that brings up the next thing that we're going to talk about, which is the importance of knowing who you are, knowing yourself, and like experiencing a whole phase does help you know yourself. But going to therapy helps you know yourself. Communicating with your friends, family, knowing your roots, all these things are pivotal things when it comes to identifying and knowing exactly who you are. Most definitely when it comes to like who you are as a sexual being, I personally feel as though that truly does start with the self, within that that self exploration of your body, knowing what feels good to you, what helps you feel comfortable, what helps you feel relaxed, so that you're able to articulate that to any partners that you may have, or even if it's something casual, you can just blatantly let somebody know, hey, we're here. This is something that I do enjoy. I need, a little bit of oral to get me, warmed up, or even like digital play or anything like that. Or I enjoy watching porn while engaged in sex. Is that something that will make you uncomfortable? Is that something that you are okay with? Having those kind of conversations and stuff.
Right. And all of what you said, and I would add solitude. When you're going through certain phases, it's important to spend some time by yourself and ask those questions. Can you spend time by yourself? Are you comfortable with spending some time by yourself and getting to know yourself? Because that's where power and strength comes from. When you can heal past traumas, inner critic, inner child, recognize all of those things that are happening for you and heal them, start to heal them. And we also heal them in relationship.
Mm.
So I think there's a certain level of knowing yourself. And then there's a certain level, if you want to go beyond, you have to do that in partnership.
Mm.
And it doesn't always mean romantic, though romantic partnerships will excel your growth. Even one night stands excelled my growth because I found so much information from them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to be able to do all of those things.
And when you mentioned like expanding your growth through partnership, it made me think about my current situation. And I've seen a difference in how I've been interacting, not necessarily with other people, but with that specific person. Because after years of, fuck boys and all the like foolishness that you come accustomed to on these streets, you tend to like become, I would say slightly, well, a little jaded, and you also just, I personally became comfortable with just accepting, okay, this is just how this person is, whatever. I don't have to focus on this anymore. It is what it is. Maybe something may happen, maybe something won't. I'm not going to like really like engage it. So I personally disengage from whatever that could have been or whatever the situation was. But I chose to be patient with this person I'm talking to now. And I've chose to like not listen to the old thought processes that I had and just try to be a lot more patient, a lot more understanding. And I'm already a very patient person. So when I say a lot more patient, I mean like a lot more patience. But being more patient, allowing space and time for like the rift in the communication, and not taking any offense by, a response taking a week or so or anything like that, and not feeling highly upset or even disturbed by lack of communication. I would say that would be the best way to phrase it. But just it's just something completely new, by because I'm allowing myself just not to stay rooted in that past experience with other people, and just seeing things at face value with this individual as an individual alone, and not necessarily as a makeup of all the past failures or the former partners or the friends that didn't stay and all of that. So I will say just engaging with people are actively changing the way that I am within relationships, be it friendship, romantic. I really have been learning a lot more about myself, just within this current thing that I have with this person that has no title. But yeah.
Well, I find that very interesting because you and I are probably in the same phase right now where I got tired of my own behaviors. I got tired of doing the same thing and getting the same results. So I had to look in the mirror really deep and really hard and go, what's my part in this? Because, it's not them. They're
Mhm.
mirrors to us. It's really about us.
Mhm.
And when you've had enough, you've had enough. And I think it's learning new skills. I got asked the other day, what was the best part of becoming a love coach? And I said, I had to learn my own behaviors and clean up my own shit. I benefited the most from my own learning.
Mm.
And I'm now putting that into action because of past relationships, past traumas, childhood traumas. I'm trying to stay very present and watch myself. And it's excruciating sometimes. Like I can see the fear. I can see me wanting to go, no, this is not, he's taking too long, or
Mm.
he disappeared, or he's not responding. And I'm like, nope. We're going to take our time. We're going to let this unfold. And we're not going to be in that rush that I'm normally in.
Mm. Exactly.
and rush the process. And this, like when I said spending time alone, I've spent a lot of time on my own during the pandemic. Because of business and changing friendships, change people coming and going. But as you grow, that's a natural process
Mm.
that relationships of any kind are going to shift and change, and know that that's natural and normal. There's nothing wrong with you. As you grow as a person, you're going to want different people. You're going to another level. And some friendships might go in a different category. Doesn't mean you're not going to be friends.
Mm.
It's just you're friends on a different level. You're preparing for something different, magnificent to come into your life. But I will tell you, I have to stand very still and watch my fear, watch what's happening, all the old patterns that are here. And I'm like, oh my God, this is excruciating.
Right.
But here's the thing. I feel why I'm doing this is going to make me a better coach. This is going to help me help people because I know what this is like. I know how hard this transition is to make. And I can sympathize and empathize and guide and steer a little bit differently now because I'm walking my talk.
Mm. That part.
And that's what will happen with your people too.
Yes, I appreciate it. But yeah, it's been very interesting, and I've been enjoying the ride, honestly. And just I know I've just decided let me just take my thinking brain away, even though it's hard. That ADHD does whatever the fuck it wants, regardless. But I've decided to not focus so heavily on like the what ifs and just ride it through. It's like if a plan cancels, a plan cancels. It is okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason behind it. I'm not going to create a reason. If a reason's not provided, it's okay. Do I overthink sometimes? Yes, but it's usually not in regards to like what the future may be or what things how this is going to develop or anything like that. It's usually about travel stuff, like some relevant things that cause me to overthink, but it's just a new level of comfort. So I've been appreciating and just feeling grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just to switch
Well,
to. Mhm.
and just one more comment on this topic is boundaries. This is where I have healthier boundaries,
Mm,
and I know the difference now, what they are and how I can enforce them.
mm. Boundaries is always important. Yes, yes. So speaking of, we learned in our intake meeting for this episode, we're both not a fan of sending news, which is like a boundary. Granted, it just depends. If the person appreciates the nude, then yes. If the person sexualizes my nudes, then no. Like I I get people look at the nudes because they want that desire, or they wish to sexualize the person that is sending them. It's just I don't want I just want my nudes to be appreciated.
But here's the thing, when you send them, you have no idea what they're doing with them.
That is true.
You don't know. It's like a gift. You're given a gift. You're not, you can't control the gift
That is
that you're
true.
giving. So I don't give those gifts. I don't want my whatever out there because, and then there's revenge, and then there's, you just don't know, especially early stages of what a person is thinking and capable of, So now we talked about, I like boudoir because
Mhm.
I think it's tasteful.
Yes.
Not everything is all out there usually. It's very seductive. So
Hmm.
I will share those photos because one, I'm very proud of them and I look kind of hot in them. And if they slip them out, hey, look at me, yes. So that's an alternative to nudes.
Yeah, I'm all here for the boudoir. Like, if for anybody who does not follow me on my Instagram page, it's like just follow me. You'll see them. They're right at the top. Like, if you want to see what I look like nude, there you go. Enjoy. It was a beautiful moment, and I looked very, very great, and I still look just as great. Just less makeup. But like I'm such a huge fan of boudoir photos because it's very sensual, it's sexy, it's
Hmm.
enticing to look at. But whenever I think of like just a nude photo, there's no artistry to them for the most part. It's just, okay, here's my body, I'm sending it to you. Like give me some flair, give me some painting, give me something to make me excited to like receive these photos.
Right.
Like even when it comes to people that I want to hook up with, or people, even the person I'm talking to, I don't care for them to send like a nude photo to me. A face pic is great enough for me.
Yes.
um um if they were to like do a boudoir shoot and send that to me, I would just be like, oh my fucking goodness, yes. Like I'm more turned on by somebody in clothing than I am with them being just completely nude. Because you
Yes.
can be so artsy with the things that you wear and how you wear it and how you position yourself is just great. Yes, nude photos makes a statement as well, but it's just how you dress it. That's the thing.
Do you know how many dick pics I get? I now I just say, don't send me. I don't want your dick. Don't send me your dick because I just I don't need it. Then I'll usually send one back.
What the hell? Since we're sending dicks today,
Here's one for you, dude.
I,
They're like, what?
I think
Told
mine
you.
is bigger.
I told you I didn't want to
Like
see it.
I to this day I still don't understand why so many people still send me dick pics even though like I have it on a profile. Don't send me nudes. Like what are they going to do? Like sending me a nude photo does not mean I want to have sex with you a lot sooner. It actually means I might want to keep my distance from you
Yeah.
because what is a nude photo without a face? What is a nude
Yeah,
photo
you're
without
you're
character?
you're leading with your dick. Okay. Where, to me, to be turned on, it's my mind. I'm like,
Mm,
fuck my mind, my body will follow.
mm,
So when
that
you're
part.
sending your dick pic, that it's like, oh God, where did the chemistry, where did the fun go? Where did the charisma, It's like deflating the balloon before you give
Mm,
it.
like I don't know what you thought was going to happen here. I really don't. My favorite is when someone's unsolicitedly sends me a dick pic and then they ask me to send them a nude photo and I'm like, why would I do that? Would I just send you something, but did I ask for it?
And there's the other thing, consent. It's really not consensual.
That
When
part.
somebody says don't do it and you're doing it, so what else are you not going to listen to me about?
Exactly.
What else are you going to break consensually? If you're doing that right now before we meet, what else aren't you going to follow through with? I mean, it's an indicator. Pay
Exactly.
attention. Pay
Pay
attention.
attention, really pay attention. Like there was somebody who sent me dick pics today actually, and I was just like, oh okay, what am I supposed to do with this? Like what did I just sent them a message, are you going to send me a face picture? Like what's going on here? Like what's what's the expectation here? Because this does not make me want to hook up with you. I do not find this sexy. I just do not. I'm sorry, but
Where's your smile?
right, turn me on some other kind of way. Like I'm at work for one, so that means I definitely can't look at the dick pic. So, like, what are we doing here?
Yes. And maybe I'm just old. It's not my generation. I don't know, but and then there can be such severe consequences, and you hear it all the time for the young ones that are doing it.
Mm,
And then my ex-boyfriend sent my picture all around to everybody in school. Don't, and I get it. They have peer pressure. It's so hard being a young person today, but
bad.
don't do it.
Don't
Just
do it.
say no.
It's not worth it. It's really
No.
not. If you're uncomfortable with sending it, and even if you are comfortable, still don't send it. Like I don't know how many people I've had to tell online if I have to if you message me because you found me attractive already just by face value alone, if I have to validate your attraction to me by sending a nude picture, that means you're truly not attracted to me. Therefore, I don't want to fuck you. I don't want to have sex with you. I don't want you in my presence because why do I have to validate my sexiness by giving off my nude body? I already
Mm-hmm.
came to this function sexy as fuck.
Right.
Just too late. So you missed me.
It's true.
Right? Like I don't for
it's
those
just it's just sexual to me. It's like there's no zero interest in me. It's all about you.
Mhm.
You just want to get this thing out and about. I don't know what your issue is, but no, thank you.
I'm good on that.
Yeah.
On that note, are you ready for a little never have I ever?
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, so I'm going to do a never have I ever and also a would you rather. And if we have some time, I might throw in the sex question. So, never have I ever made someone orgasm while they were fully clothed.
Oh, I'm confused with this game. Never have I ever. I
Have you ever made anybody?
Yes.
Oh, you have. I am intrigued. I have not yet, but I do plan on doing something of that sort with that person I was referring to earlier.
Ooh.
So my goal is before we even ever engage in like penetrative sex is to have like get this person to orgasm in at least 4 to 5 different ways before that even
Oh,
happens.
that's
So
interesting.
yeah, that's the goal.
I might steal that one.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Let me know how that goes for you. I'll keep you up to date on my end.
Okay.
And he listens to this podcast, so well, there you go. This episode is coming out like, oh damn, this comes out right after his birthday too. I'm definitely going to be like, hey, I know there's another episode that I told you about, but this is not that one. But I talked about you on this episode. You should listen to that and also send me a face picture. Uh, because you're gorgeous. But yeah, so you have, what was that like?
Powerful.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty powerful. You're like in control. You're like, it's really interesting. Yes.
Goals, goals. So, audience, if y'all have not made somebody orgasm with being fully clothed, give it a try. See what you can do. Finesse some shit with your partner or your one night stand if they're into it. 27%. Your odds are in your favor somehow. It's low, but it's a quarter. Oh God. So, would you rather date someone much, much more attractive than you or date someone slightly less attractive? Hmm. I feel some type of way about this question because I'm beautiful as fuck already.
Yeah, I mean, like, how do you determine that?
Right? Because I feel like if regardless of where I fit on here, they're dating me and I'm attracted to them. So
Right.
I'm okay.
To me, it's energy. I've dated so many different types of people that it's more energy. I feel like, woof.
Mhm. I guess this is for those people because I don't know if you've experienced this or overheard conversations where they're just like, "Oh, how did this person get that person?" I guess
Yes.
that's the ideal of this question, but they got that person because they're not superficial.
Yes.
So when you're looking for love, you find love. If you're looking for
Yes.
looks, you find looks. So understand your priorities in this. Like
Yeah.
we're just going to act like we didn't have that conversation. Oh God. Okay, here we go. So, would you rather your partner insist on wearing an animal costume during sex or have them insist on you wearing the costume? Hmm,
Him.
really?
Him.
Why? Let's talk about
Yes.
this.
Yes.
Because the excitement that I'm hearing right now and seeing from you, I'm hella intrigued. Yes, let's
I
go
want
into this.
I want a human puppy. Do you ever see puppy
Ooh,
play?
yes,
Puppy play
yes.
is so cute. I want a human puppy.
Support. I support. My ex, um he he's a furry. He didn't we never like experienced any kind of furry play or anything like that. But there was a moment where I did get him because his identity is a cat. So I did get him some cat ears, and that was amazing. It looked good on him and everything. It was a good time. It was a very good
Hmm.
time. Um,
Yeah,
so
some of them really get really into it. I mean,
mm,
it's really kind of cool. It's even like pony play.
mm,
Oh my God, those I've seen pony play. Uh, I don't want a pony, but it's the owner and the pony. Oh, that is like so hot watching some of them interact. Yeah. I don't
I
know.
agree. It is.
I kind of like that stuff. Yeah.
Like I well for me with this question, this is one of those where I have to say both because I'm comfortable with dressing up in whatever animal costume my partner wants me to be in.
Who
Let me
would you
know.
be? Who would you,
If you're trying to
what's
get a
your
hippo,
preference?
bitch, I will be a hippo. I would say my oh God. My partner has a hippo, Lord. A sexy ass hippo too. I'm going to have to post this on my Instagram page. But there's this photo because people keep asking me for nudes. You know the hippo from Madagascar?
Oh, I didn't watch it. No.
Oh, it's fine. There's this so the hippo on there, someone made a image of her and they added like huge breasts to her body. So I used that on my profile saying, "Don't ask me for news. This is what I look like." And it's just that hippo's body.
That's a good one.
So I'm definitely, bitch, I'm a hippo, and that's going to be the name of this episode. Um,
Bitch, I'm a hippo.
but I think if I were to choose an animal, it would have to be a fox. My
Mm.
favorite animal is a turtle and penguin, but I would have to say for like sex appeal, it have to be a fox, a silver fox at that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, and I would definitely be comfortable with that person who shall not be named on this episode to like dress up in a costume. It is okay. I'm very comfortable with that. Oh my God, all the subtweeting. I'm here for it. So would you like a sex question now?
Sure.
So, do you have a safe word? Have you ever used it? And tell me more.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Ooh, what is this safe word?
I think one time it was orange. You want your safe words not to be, it's not, it can be red,
Mm-hmm.
but not stop. Don't use stop as your safe word, people, because,
No.
it's not, you'll go stop. Oh, please don't stop. They don't know what you mean. It's
Mm.
confusing. So pick a word that you wouldn't say. But yes, I was a big fan of rope play. So I was a rope bunny.
Oh,
And yeah,
yes,
yeah.
we support.
Yeah, and I enjoyed that for a very long time. So you'd have safe words or you would hold a ball, if you couldn't talk
Mhm.
and drop the ball. So yes, when you're doing that kind of play, you got to have safe words.
Mm. I had a safe word. It was fire. And I definitely had to use it a couple times. It was it was around the time when my pleasure threshold was not where I wanted to be at. And it was just like, we need to just go ahead and cut this short a little bit. But now I feel like my threshold kind of increased over the last couple years. So I don't know if I'll be saying fire anytime soon.
Well, I also have discussions ahead of time. What are my hard no's?
Hmm.
Like this is this we might discuss. No, that's a hard no. This is a maybe, or this is a yes. It's very important to have those discussions ahead of
Hmm.
time. Sometimes during sex when you're trying things, how does that feel? Is that okay? Do you want more pressure, less pressure? And then you talk about it afterwards too. What was that like for you? How can we improve? Do you want to do that again? This is how your sex life gets stronger consistently, is when you're trying new things, you have to talk about them before, during, and after.
Yes, I agree. I agree. So, with that message, is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience before I close this out?
Well, if I could tell them, my website is aconfidentialconversation.com. I have a free Love Your Libido book that they can download. I have a free love self-assessment quiz you can take. And I am working on a couples massage video so couples can learn how to massage each other in the privacy of their own home, including the vulva and the penis. So that's my next project.
And I'm looking forward to it because I will definitely. Is this going to be for sale? So I know how much I can
Yes.
have to sell it. Okay. So I will be in touch so I can make sure I make my purchase because there's some massaging that I'm planning on doing
Okay. Good,
in
good,
the
good.
in either the near or distant future, but there will be some massaging going on. Oh.
Yeah, I want the project done by summer, so in the next couple of months.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. Thank you
Well,
so
thank
much for coming on to
you.
the podcast. And I appreciate you and love you so much.
You too, Vernon. Thank you.
Of course, to the listeners out there, thank you all so much for listening to the Holy podcast, where we step out and speak on sexuality. And just in case no one else told you this today, you are beautiful, you are worthy of happiness and joy, you are enough and then some. You may not live up to the expectations of others, but that is okay. You are only required to walk in your own shoes. May each day you live lead you towards abundance. With that said, love you all and see you next episode. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Holiloquy podcast, where we step out and speak on sexuality. You can subscribe to the podcast through your favorite podcasting app and find us on the web at www.holiloquy.com. That's www.heauxliloquy.com. Share the podcast with your friends and join the conversation.